On today's show, visual artist Diego Tamayo and trombonist Denis Jiron. Join me as we learn more about these hidden gems of London.
In the forest city, London, London, oh. In the forest city, London, London, oh.
Welcome to London's Hidden Talent. I'm your host, Jennifer Martino. In London, Ontario, our art and culture scene is thriving thanks to the creative talents of lifelong Londoners and people from around the world who have made this community their home. Together, we will get to know the people who are bringing our stages, galleries, and streets to life. First up, we have visual artist Diego Tamayo. Born in Bogota, Colombia, and now residing in London, Ontario, Diego uses bright colors and geometric shapes to generate vibrational waves, aiming to elevate the viewer's mental state. He creates vibrant works that pay tribute to women and their wisdom, and his latest collection explores cats as mystical beings that transform energy and connect with our souls in unseen dimensions. Diego, thank you for joining me on London's Hidden Talent. You have all kinds of different talents, and it's always interesting to talk to someone who has really great talent in something like visual art, but also I know you as a photographer, I know you as a filmmaker, I know you as someone who's behind the scenes of events, big and small, and really doing a lot to highlight local artists and making sure that people know what great people they are and to help people shine. So it's really an honor to have you on the show today.
No, thank you, Jen. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. I feel comfortable to be here. I feel very happy, and I feel honored to be your guest.
Thank you. You know, around town, you are becoming known as the Cat Man, also known as Catamayo.
Yes.
And not just because of you wear that shirt, although that helps, but also because your work with cats has been exhibited at places such as Tab Centre for Creativity, Museum London. You were featured in the Museum London gift shop, and you're also in places like Bayfield at their art museum. You are in Port Stanley, and it's really something that seems to speak to people. Could you tell us a little bit about how you came to feature cats in your art?
Well, it's funny because I have two cats. We have two cats with my wife. Yeah, we love it. And the cats, for me, represent the good energy, you know? When I start painting 10 years ago, I start with women's, you know, with to do to represent women's, because women's to me represents the light, you know, the women's brings the light to the earth. But with the time in my work, I decide I have to do something special, you know, something different, something that make me like a brand. And I watching my cats, and I say, everybody loves, well, not everybody, but many people love cats. I love cats. And I say, I have to paint cats. Who's painting cats right now? And I make the research, and I don't see anybody to do that. And I say, okay, it's a good way to start, but this way, painting cats. And it was a year and a half. And right now, you know, I paint a lot of cats. I painted a lot of cats. And right now I'm painting big ones, big ones. Because this year my decision is to do less cats, but big ones, you know, in order to I don't know, that surprise people, to have that big impression.
Your cats aren't just any cats. And of course, to every cat owner, their cat is very unique and special, and they can see expression in their cat. They know that their cat has a very unique personality. But your cats are goddesses. Your cats look like Egyptian emperors. There's a lot going on with your cats. There's one that I absolutely love, which is a cat swimming, and he has the scuba diving
Yes.
helmet on him. How do you come up with these different versions of cats that we would associate more with human personalities?
Well, I have been working in the media business, in marketing, and I have many ideas in my mind. You know, I always have new ideas, and I decide when I start doing cats, I decide to do cats like like a person, you know, with a personality, like a scuba diving, like a goodness, or like a princess, or like a king. And it was really good. But right now, I took a decision, 6 months ago, I took a decision to do shaman cats. Shaman cats are the magic cats. You know, it's a mix between Azteca with the same time with Egyptian, at the same time with Celtic. You know, it's a mix, but they are magicians. They are magic. And I start doing these cats, the shaman cats. The name right now for my cats, like this one, it's a shaman. It's a mix, you know. But shaman and shamanism represent the magic, the people that cured, you know, the people that live that with good energy that helps you in your life. And for me, the cats represent that, you know. If you put one of my cats in your wall, it's gonna give you good energy. This is my idea, because when I painted, I put all my good energy on this image.
And it's one of these cats that made it into Kellogg's this past year.
Yes.
And you were chosen, I think there were 100 people chosen, and people entered from all over the world. They had over 1,000 entries, and you were chosen as one of the people to be exhibited at Kellogg's, where people can vote on their favorite piece of art. And I think it wasn't the first year that you submitted. You submitted the year before as well, but you stuck with it and you got in. What did it feel like to go and to see your art as part of something with such diverse art forms? Because it wasn't just visual art. They had sculptures, they had multimedia art. What was it like to meet those other artists and see your work exhibited there?
For me, it's an honor, because when they start, I met many artists, and such a good artist. You know, when I walk into the gallery, into the place, I saw, oh my God, it was so good. I say, oh, it's nice, it's good. And when I saw because I don't know why, but it was a special wall. It was along in a place. It looks wonderful. And I feel so honored, and I feel, you know, I made it, but at the same time, I believe in good energy, and I feel that everybody attracts the energy that they have. I don't know if I explain really well, but I knew that we be there, and I gonna be there. I don't know if I explained it. Magic. When I arrived at the city, let me tell you something. When I arrived at the city, the first day we're driving through the Museum of London. And I saw the museum, and I say, to my wife, oh my God, this is the Museum of London. I say, I'm gonna be there, Juliana, I'm gonna be there. Year and a half later, I was there. And the same thing happened with the Kellogg's. The first time I applied, the year before I applied, and nothing happened. And I say, okay, this year I'm gonna be there. And I apply again, and my cat was there. You know, I think that it's about my focus, my energy. If you want something, you could get it, because you are the writer of your own history. I believe that.
Yeah, we're all the authors of our own stories.
Yes.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. And it's so interesting that you have landed in London, because, you know, very, very different size of city from a place like Bogota. Also, your work has been exhibited in places like Times Square in New York City. And I wonder what it's been like for you to become part of the local art and culture community here in a mid-sized city in Canada, which in the context of the world is actually a very small place to be.
Well, I have the fortune to be in New York, in Miami, in Paris, in London, UK. But I start again in this country, because I moved from my country and I decide to start again from zero, and I start step by step. I think that it's better to start in that way and don't say, I don't know, but I don't want to tell in that moment, I didn't say to anybody, I don't know if you remember, oh, I did something and I did, and no, I'm very quiet with my things because I decide to start from zero. Why? Because I don't want to pretend to be more than I want. I want to be a simple person. And I start doing my job, my career, painting. And I start here in London. And suddenly, right now we are in Bayfield, Port Stanley, and I don't know how do you say it. The next step is Toronto. This week I have to go to Toronto because I have to talk with the galleries, and I like that way. I like walking the path, because when you walk the path, you learn a lot.
Yeah, and that's a really interesting comment, because the premise of this show is that there are people who are born in London who are amazingly talented. There are also people from all over the world that have landed in London for different reasons. And many of them have left behind careers as professional artists, careers as professional musicians, filmmakers, all kinds of amazing and rich histories in their home country. And there are kind of two ways to go here. You could become very frustrated, and also you can start again, and often the only chance that you have is to start again. What would you say to somebody who comes and has to start fresh in this place? Because I don't want people to think that they have to lose who they are and all that rich experience that they have, but I think you're onto something when you say that when you come here, you're a new person presenting yourself in a fresh way to a new community.
Well, I always think that I'm very detached person. I don't know if I can explain well, but I don't attach something to my past, to my things, to anything, because when you live, I don't know if this is the word, but when you live in a detached way, yes, I don't know if it's well, you feel free. And I didn't want to be the person to say, in my country I was, in my country I were, in my country I did. No. It's the present. The important for me is the present. What do you do right now? No, what did you do? For me, this is the important thing. What I'm doing right now. The present is the unique moment in your life. The future, you don't know the future. The past is in the past. For me, the present is the moment. And for this reason, I'm very happy to be here. And I know people, amazing people, amazing artists, amazing people with dreams, like you. You have a dream, and you want to have your program, that kind of program, and you're doing that. I like that. I like to grow with the people. I don't know if I explained well.
No, you explained very well. And really all we have is this present moment.
Yeah.
And I thank you for being here with me today in this moment, for being a part of this program, and also for everything that you've brought to our community in terms of your enthusiasm, your art, your presence, your support of other creative people in our community. And if somebody wants to learn more about you, they can go to your website, and we're going to share that with everyone. And also, more importantly, follow you on Instagram, because on Instagram, you have a beautiful collection of work and you keep it really up to date. And I would encourage anyone out there to please check that out. So thank you, Diego, for spending this time with me today and with Londoners. And I know that if anyone out there in the community runs into you, you're such a warm person. They should say hello. They should make that connection and see where that takes them.
Thank you so much. If people wants to, it's better the Instagram for me, because I can would answer in the Instagram very quickly. If somebody write to me in the Instagram, I respond very quickly. My Instagram is at Tamayo, my last name, Tamayo, artist. That's it. And thank you for having me. And I admire you. You are such a wonderful person, and you are a very talented person too.
In the forest city, I am gonna stay beautiful in every season.
Next, we have trombonist Denis Jiron. Denis relocated to London, Ontario from Los Angeles, California, to join the Don Wright Faculty of Music as a trombone professor. Denis has performed with symphony orchestras, pop acts, Afro-Cuban salsa artists, TV shows, and big bands, sharing stages with Stevie Wonder, Aretha Franklin, Queen Latifah, Kanye West, Andrea Bocelli, and Sting, with appearances on The Voice, American Idol, The Ellen Show, and The Tonight Show. Denis now directs the Western University Salsa Band, Los Gansitos, named after Western's unofficial mascot, the Canadian goose. Thank you for being here with us on London's Hidden Talent.
My pleasure.
Denis, it has been so interesting to see you around our community for the last couple of years, playing with all kinds of groups, leading orchestras, leading bands, and I'm even playing with one of my family members, Scott Edwards. And I'm so happy to get to know you a little bit more today, but also for Londoners to discover really what is a hidden talent in our community, that you're someone that has been on shows like The Ellen Show, on The Tonight Show, and you've moved here to London, joining us from Los Angeles. So I'm just so pleased for Londoners to get to know a little bit more about you, so that when they see you out in the community, they can ask you about some of your really great experiences.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here.
The first way that I really got to know who you were as an artist was through Western. You've joined our community to be an assistant professor of trombone.
Right.
And you started this amazing course that is to have a group of students through the Don Wright Faculty of Music and to have them form a salsa band, the Western Salsa Band, Los Gansitos being the geese.
Right, the baby geese, right? Because they're all students, they're all learning the styles, so, they have to work through the rungs before they become Los Gansos. But so for now, they're Los Gansitos.
And, I've seen this group performing at Salsa on the Street, at Dundas Place on a Friday night. They have played through the Four City London Music Awards, through the Latin Street Party. And, for someone like you who has played trombone with some of the most famous artists that, we've ever heard of, especially if you appreciate Latin music, you have played with the Philharmonic Orchestra.
So,
well.
Yeah, I've played a long time with the Los Angeles Philharmonic in different roles, but I've had a relationship with them for over 20 years, as well as also subbing into Toronto Symphony, Detroit Symphony, and some other ones.
And right here at the Grand Theater.
Right, actually, my first winter here, I was asked to play the production of Elf, the musical. So I did that the first winter I was here.
Yeah, that was a wonderful show.
Sure,
The
yeah.
whole audience enjoyed that. And to be in that environment in the Grand Theater and to have the privilege to have musicians such as yourself right there in front of you, if you can see down into the pit, and to have you bring those performances to life is an awesome thing to see. So I'm so glad that you're in our community for many reasons. Could you tell us a little bit about how you ended up landing at Western and right here in London, Ontario?
Sure. So, my whole adult life, or most of my adult life, I've been a freelance trombonist in Los Angeles. I did have a job in a symphony orchestra in Germany for a few years, but basically my life has revolved around Los Angeles. So at a certain point, and I loved doing what I was doing, but at a certain point I just felt like I needed a little more stability in my life, because as a freelance musician, you don't know what's coming next month, or even next week sometimes. And during that time, I got some adjunct positions at 2 universities in California and realized that I actually really enjoyed teaching at the university level. So what I decided to do at 40 is to go back to school to get my doctorate degree. And you get the doctorate degree in order to start applying for full-time professorship jobs, because that's really the requisite for full-time jobs. So that's what I did. I went to Michigan, got my doctorate degree, and started applying for jobs. And a job was open here at Western University, and I interviewed, and it was a good fit both ways, and I was appointed the position back in 2022.
When you got that position, did you know that you would have the opportunity to create the course being the Western Salsa Band, or is that something that came later?
No, that was a big surprise, actually. So part of the reason why they created the position that I have now, because before it was just an hourly position, an adjunct position, right? So somebody just got paid for the hour. So I have a full-time tenure track position, and Western has never had a trombone tenure track professor. So I'm the first for Western. And part of the reason they opened that was because the trumpet, for example, the trumpet studio is doing quite well. There's, I don't know, 25, 30 students at any given time. But trombones, well, when I got here, I inherited 3 trombone students. So in hiring a full-time professor, they were hoping that, you know, it would increase the numbers and attract more people. And actually coming in this fall, I'm going to have 14 or 15 trombones. So I've gone from 3 to 15 in a span of 2 years. But going back to your question, so I had 3 trombone students, and they said, well, what can you do? Because we need to have you do something. We can't just pay you a full salary and you're just going to sit around. So I said, well, other than mowing lawns, I can teach trombone, and I can start a pop band, which we did, and I can start a salsa band, which we did. 2 courses that didn't exist at the university. So I've run both of those courses the last 2 years. This coming year, I've had to let go of the pop band because I have so many trombone students, right? I had to give something up. So another instructor is now going to teach the pop band, and I'm going to continue with the salsa band.
It is really beautiful to see the enthusiasm of the members of Los Gansitos. They are learning music that is new to them, might not be new to you, isn't new to people who enjoy Latin music and have been dancing and just simply enjoying the music for a long time. But to see them discover this music almost right in front of your eyes and to really embrace it is something that I don't think I'll ever forget. The first time you just see their faces light up, and every single member of that band has so much enthusiasm for the sound, but also it seems to be more than that. It seems to be about being a part of something that's really unique and special. What has been your experience seeing those students grow? Because most of them have never played that style of music before.
Right. Actually, you're exactly right. I think of all the students I've had, there's only one student in that whole group that had any experience playing that music beforehand. That's the pianist. Other than that, nobody had played that kind of music. So you're right. It's really wonderful seeing them discover a new kind of music. In other ensembles that they have at the school, they're either playing jazz or classical music or even pop music in my other ensemble. All musics which they're familiar with, right? They've had some kind of contact with before, whether it's on the radio or whether it's in school band or orchestra, all that, they've had some kind of contact with it. With salsa music, like I said, except for one person, they've had zero contact with it. So it's learning, it's not as easy as just putting on a new pair of shoes. It's kind of learning how to walk all over again, because even though you're playing your same instrument, you're playing it in a very different way with different rules and expectations. So there's a huge learning curve, and I was actually have been astounded how quickly they've learned the music and become accustomed to it and really starting to get the essence of it. So it's been a wonderful experience watching them enjoy it.
And they haven't stopped there. They have gone as far as to embrace dancing. I have seen members of that band out with Latin Passion Dance Academy. They're taking dance lessons. They're dancing in the streets in Dundas Place on Friday evenings. And they're really becoming a part of the local Latin music scene. And one of my favorite things to do is to watch them watch you on the dance floor, and just to see how they're excited to be a part of something new that really goes beyond maybe what they're studying in school. If you were to meet somebody who is thinking, I'm really interested or I'm being drawn towards a style of music, but I don't have a lot of connection with that. How would you suggest to them that they start building those connections?
Well, first of all, back to your point about dancing. Yes, one of the first things I tell them the first day of class is this is dance music. You will understand it better if you learn how to dance. Even if you feel like you have two left feet. We all do when we first start dancing, and you'll, like with anything else, the more you do it, the better you'll get. So I'm glad that some of them have really taken that to heart and don't do it as homework, but genuinely enjoy it and they go out to dance. So that's one thing that I'm really happy about. And to your other question, which was, repeat it again.
About if you were to meet somebody that says,
yeah.
I'm drawn towards music, but I don't have any previous connection with that style of music.
Music is for the ears. It's not for the eyes. All right. So whatever type of music it is that you want to learn, the first thing you have to do is listen to it, and if you then want to create it in some way, then you have to be around those people that create it as well. So find that musical community that you want to be a part of, right? And learn from those people. It's a language, we learn it by listening and copying the same way that children or even adults learn languages. So same thing with music. Listen, hang out with the people, play with the people that make the music, and eventually through osmosis, if nothing else, you're going to start being part of that community and being able to create that music. Of course, the more exposure you have to it, the more you're going to get that into your, what we call the blood. But really, it's just you're learning a new language.
You have so many incredible experiences that I wish we had half an hour just to talk about the things that you've done, the people that you've played with. Tito Puente, for example, we have talked previously about times that you've been able to meet people like Jennifer Lopez, one of my number one heroes. My name of my cell phone, if you see me on the Bluetooth, is Jenny from the block. So that'll tell you a lot. If somebody were to want to find you out in the community, want to see you play live or connect with you and ask you some more questions about these incredible experiences that you bring to our local art and culture scene, how could they do that?
Sure. Well, just real quick, a quick correction. I never played with Tito Puente. I did play with Tito Puente Jr.
Oh, Junior, okay.
So just a little distinction there, just so nobody says that I'm misrepresenting. So how can they reach me? Well, the easiest way is through my website, which is denisjiron.com. So there's a contact sheet there. You can also find information on me at the Don Wright Faculty of Music website. So those would probably be the two easiest ways to contact me if you wanted to.
And just to be clear, no, you can't connect anyone to Jennifer Lopez. They're going to have to find a way to do that on their own.
No. I met her in person many years ago when we were both young. And I actually, for many years, played at her club called the Conga Room in LA.
Wow.
So, and I would see her there on occasion as well.
Wow, that's awesome. Well, Dennis, I'm so glad that you and your family have joined us here in London, Ontario. You really are making a difference. You're helping young people, but also just Londoners in general learn about a type of music that I really love. And I know that anybody who gives it a chance, gets their feet moving, and especially gets in front of live musicians are going to feel the passion and be carried away just the way we have been throughout our lives. So thank you for making the time today. Thank you to your family, to your 2 kids, and to your wife who are out there waiting for you to come out. And we hope to see you again out in our community very soon.
Thanks for inviting me.